Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and of course, joining me on a Monday to do a weekend wrap-up of sports, Jason Cameron. The sun's going down. We're getting shorter and shorter days, but beautiful day out today. But you had a long, hard day, I hear.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Like so cool. It's just gonna get colder. So yeah, it just felt tough.
Yeah.
It's either that or I'm just getting old. It's one or the other. So it's cool. It's cool.
Well, you're always getting older, that's for sure. But yeah, it's I'm sure it's still tough getting used to that kind of work and getting at it. So yeah, hopefully I hear the actors union and everything have made some progress on their talks. No talks today, but here's some more through the week. So fingers crossed this gets put together.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I don't even know what to say anymore about it. It's just like, because I do know this. Like, this is how I actually feel. If this doesn't get resolved by the end of this year, I don't think it gets resolved then till the spring.
Yeah,
I honestly don't believe that. I honestly believe that.
That's a scary thought. Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is a scary thought. Like, so I think everybody that's involved now with the actors and the association of the studio execs and all them sort of people, I think they realize that too. Like, it's like, well, you guys have lost a lot of money. Are you prepared to lose like more?
More, yeah.
Like that's honestly, that's where they're at right now. It's like, well, how much money are you willing to lose before you just say, maybe we should actually start negotiating instead of just making ridiculous demands?
Yeah. I sure hope they can figure it out, because it's really upsetting. It's just maddening that they can't figure it out. Just everyone's losing off this,
Yeah,
So,
of course.
yeah, there's no winners in this game right now. So just figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah, because you know what? As far as I'm concerned, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am, though. I think there's enough money to go around.
Yeah.
Personally, that's just my personal sentiment. I think there's enough money to go around.
Yeah, I think you bang on there, man. Yeah, there's no way there's not. So enough said. Today is a special day in the world of sports. You spent all day working. I spent all day consuming sports. My brain is about to explode. There's so much sports going on in it. Today is called one of the sports equinox, and that means it's a very rare day where all four major North American sports have a game on. The NFL has Monday Night Football. We've got the World Series Game 3 tonight in baseball, and the NBA and the NHL have full slate schedules. So it's only the 30th time in the history of the world that all four major North American sports are playing on the same day, the sports equinox. So as I said, I am full of information, trying to get it out of my brain on this podcast so I can function tonight, tomorrow, and the rest of the week. I feel oversaturated and full.
That's awesome. That's great that you have the time to feel oversaturated and full. So I applaud you for that. And I guess that makes sense that there should be a sports equinox, since we just had a full moon last night, right? So
yeah, true. Yeah, I guess good timing. Yeah, pretty wild. So lots to get to. Let's get at it. We spent a very fun weekend in your hometown in Abbotsford. We got to go to a great concert on Saturday night, and the Doobie Brothers were phenomenal. It was their 50th anniversary tour. So these guys are in their 70s and still rocking it out. Sold out the Abbotsford Arena there and played all their biggest hits. This is an amazing band that's been going since the 70s, and we had a blast there. We took your recommendations for some of the places to go and eat, and enjoyed them immensely. We hit about maybe 5 restaurants over the weekend, and it was awesome. I'm glad we did it.
I'm glad to hear it. And so my recommendations, they worked for you?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Good.
We really enjoyed the Field House Brewing. That was our favorite spot, I think, and we really, yeah, we'll go back there for sure. That was a great spot, and some the one place you recommended closed too early for us. It was like an 8 o'clock closing,
Okay.
and so we didn't make that. But we went to some of the places there, and it was great. Lorraine ran into a friend of hers that she's known for a long time, and so they went to the concert, her and her daughter, and we got to hang out with them after the show. And yeah, it was awesome. We had a blast. It was a good time.
Oh, that's good. So I'm guessing since you went and saw the Doobie Brothers that you must have been the youngins at the concert, right?
We were, yeah, yeah. I think her daughter was probably the youngest person there, and we were the second youngest. So it was kind of cool, you know. You don't often get that when you're in your 50s, where you're the youngest people there. But there was a lot more gray hair than we've got, and a lot of people rocking some tie dye and stuff from way back in the day. But yeah, it was amazing to be one of the youngest there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. It does feel good when you're finally like, oh, I'm not old. I'm young. Oh, that feels great. Feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, that felt really great. Yeah. Inside the arena there, they have a display wall of pictures of people in the Abbotsford Hall of Fame. And they promote the Hall of Fame, which is at a different location, another, I think it's called Thunderbird Park or something like that. And so I was searching for like hours trying to see your picture. I don't know how they missed it. Big oversight. I've made some calls and tried to see if they've got a nice display of you in the actual Hall of Fame, but no picture in the arena. We'll have to rectify that situation. Long overdue to have you there. But yeah, I spent most of the night during the intermissions and stuff trying to find you. I couldn't find you. I was shocked.
Yeah, it is shocking. Like it's tied up in the courts right now. It's not a big deal. But I am in the actual Hall of Fame. You didn't get a chance to see me there, but it's like it's a big exhibit. It's probably
that's good. That's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, well, it's great that they have it there. I couldn't believe the oversight at the place. We wanted actually to go there, but the hours were just Saturday, Sunday, 1 to 4, and we just couldn't fit that into what we were doing. So it was very disappointing, but we'll go and we'll pay homage to you next time, and we'll go check it out. Make sure they'll hear about that. I'm glad it's tied up in the courts. I hope the judge rules in your favor very soon.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty good about it. So it's gonna go my way. I'm pretty
nice.
Sure.
Me too. Yeah. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Don Taylor got nominated to the BC Sports Hall of Fame this week. I think it was Thursday. They had a bit of a ceremony down there at BC Place. The actual induction ceremony happens in the spring. They were saying May or June or something, but he was recognized. This is a guy that is one of the main reasons why I'm doing what we're doing here. He was so good at delivering sports highlights on a nightly basis. Back in the day, I had to make sure that I was near a TV at 11 o'clock at night because Sports Page was coming on and I couldn't miss it. That half an hour, it was just necessary. And that was before PVRs and being able to record it and watch it later. So no matter where I was, I just had to stop myself, go find a TV, watch him do his sports. He left, Sports Page ended up folding. He left there. He went to Sportsnet, was great again. Then he went to Team 1040. I listened to him for 20 years on 1040. That station closed down, and all of a sudden it looked like, oh, maybe there wasn't going to be a spot. He was able to get Czech TV to, allow them to do a 2-hour daily show, and that's one of my favorite shows again. And long overdue. This is a hero of mine, a guy that just blows me away how good he is at all different medias, delivering sports. He makes it fun. You laugh a lot when you watch him. And I was really super happy for him. His family was all there. And you could tell he was very touched. And the outpouring of support was just incredible hearing from people all over BC that just grew up with this guy delivering sports and making it fun and enjoyable to watch.
It just takes me back, especially when you said sports page. I was like, oh my goodness. I haven't thought of that in a long time, man, but that's how long he's been doing it. And he was fantastic at doing that. Like that was the one thing that he always brought to the table was he had fun.
Yeah.
He had fun delivering the sports in his own unique way. And it's well deserved. Well deserved.
Oh, so well deserved. Yeah. I can't believe how great it is. And I'm sure hoping I can get an opportunity to have him come on and we can thank him for what he's done to the sports community in BC and made it enjoyable. And every night I look forward to hearing him deliver the sports. He does it in such a great, unique way. And yeah, I'm glad he's still on the airwaves. I record a show now every day and make sure I watch it and check it out, even if I can't be there. It's 10 to noon, so it's a tough time for most working folks. Luckily I'm not working for that regard these days, but I can still record it and watch it whenever, and I always do. So it's good. There was some sad news over the weekend. Just wanted to make a note of Matthew Perry's passing away. This is a great Canadian that obviously was most well known for playing Chandler Bing on Friends and was an actor. Grew up in the Ottawa area. I guess he went to school with Justin Trudeau, a few of the famous guys from that area, and really made a big impact in the world of acting. He was only one of two guys to have the #1 TV show and a #1 movie at the same time in the year 2000, I believe it was. He was in a movie with Bruce Willis called The Whole 9 Yards. It was #1 at the box office. Friends was #1 on TV, and they were making $1 million an episode back then. He had his well-known struggles with drugs and alcohol, and a book came out last year about a lot of those things that happened with him, but he was really in recovery now and doing really quite well. From all accounts, somehow he drowned in his hot tub, and the world is sending in a lot of support and outpouring of accolades for him. From all accounts, a really great guy that fell on some hard times, but was really trying to tell the world that you can overcome them and still keep going on. And it was tragic to hear, though. Same age as me, so it sort of always hits you when you hear somebody pass away the same age as you.
Yeah, definitely. Far too young, but for the time that he was here, he sure did give us a ton of entertainment through Friends and through his character Chandler Bing. He was so funny. He was so immensely funny. Like, it's again, far too soon. He'll be sorely missed.
Yeah, as I said, he was only one of two guys to have a #1 TV show and a #1 movie in the box office. The other guy is a Canadian as well. Michael J. Fox had that as well. So kind of great that Canadians are on there. Matthew had 57 credits on IMDb and tons of laughs. Go and watch almost everything that he's ever put out. You'll laugh, and it's really good. Okay, switching gears. One of the biggest sporting events of the weekend was the boxing match happened in Saudi Arabia between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. Incredible performance from Francis Ngannou, being a guy that never professionally boxed in his life, facing maybe the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time, the champion, undefeated Tyson Fury, and he held his own. He was great. He actually knocked down Fury in the 3rd round. In my opinion, won 3 or 4 rounds in this fight, and really showed the world that he was no joke when it came to this. He was receiving a ton of criticism heading into this, that there no way he should be in the ring with the heavyweight champion, never boxing before. and I felt really happy. It validated his leaving the UFC and going into the unknown frontier and trying to, make these things happen in his career. He's been able to sign a deal with the PFL, become, part of getting the MMA world into Africa. And now he was able to solidify this match, and he was great. I was very impressed with his performance. If he wins the 9th round, going into the 10th round, I think it's even fight, and whoever wins that last round wins it. I think, when I watched it, I picked Tyson Fury to win, but not by much, just the slimmest of margins. Some people did say that Ngannou won this fight, but I think he won in the hearts of almost everybody, and really just showed himself to be a legitimate boxer and a guy that's ranked now. And if he wants to pursue a boxing career, it's ahead of him. And he cashed a massive check. I don't know the numbers yet. Hopefully I'll be able to find those by next podcast, but amazing performance. What are your thoughts of something that is historic and pretty incredible on what happened on Saturday?
So the numbers I saw was that he made at least 10 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay,
at least, yeah.
Okay, so he at least made that much. This is what I thought. In the 3rd round, when he knocked him down and he caught Fury off guard, I was like, whatever Fury was doing, even if he was trying to maybe sandbag for Usyk so Usyk could maybe think there was flaws in his game, that was not supposed to happen.
No, that was not supposed to happen. True.
Of all the things that could have happened in that fight, that was not supposed to happen. He got caught.
Yeah.
He was lackadaisical in his movement, and he got caught. He didn't think he would ever get caught and get knocked down, but he did. And the one thing I think Fury was surprised at too was the power that Ngannou had. I'm pretty sure he thought he had power, but when he finally felt the real power, he was like, "Oh, okay, this is a real thing here."
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was super impressed by with Ngannou was Fury's throwing out the feints, and Ngannou wouldn't respond.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't taking any of the feints.
That was awesome. That was very impressive. Yeah, I was blown away. He seemed like a seasoned boxer in that regard to me, and I was really surprised. And I think it probably surprised Fury as well.
No, and I think it did. I think it most certainly did, because he's not falling for the feints. Now all of a sudden, now Fury's thinking, well, why is this fight so hard? I know I didn't train super hard for this fight because it's not supposed to be a hard fight. Now it's a hard fight.
Yeah.
So and the other thing that vindicated Ngannou was the ringside of all former boxers, ton of Hall of Famers, all of them shocked.
Yeah.
That told me everything I need to know about Francis Ngannou's performance, was the shock on their faces saying, my goodness, he's good.
Yeah.
That was enough.
That was incredible because, the who's who of the boxing greats were all there. They were all there supporting boxing. Mike Tyson might have been the only boxer that was kind of cheering for an MMA guy. And it becomes kind of the sport against the sport. There was MMA guys there that were definitely fully in Francis's corner, wanting him to, put on a good show, hopefully win. The boxers all want to, keep the boxer legitimate. Hey, we can beat any MMA guy that comes into our sport. But, to see them really stunned and blown away by his performance, he has to hold his head up very high and be considered that one of the greatest performances of all time. And, if Fury, doesn't get up in time for that, 10 count, he's the champion. If he's a little more aggressive in those later few rounds, I think he wins because his punches were more powerful. They were a lot harder. He was I thought, just not as aggressive. And I think he might have gassed out just a tiny bit near those last 2 rounds and just wasn't able to step on the gas enough to get those, the judges, 2 judges, obviously gave it to Fury. 1 judge did give it to Ngannou in the end, but I think it would have convinced the other 2 judges if he put a little more volume in those last couple rounds. But wow, I was really surprised. I thought I thought Fury was going to be able to take this quite handily and easily. You and I watched him face Deontay Wilder. We've seen him fight, many of the top heavyweights over his career, and he's been able to handle them all. And, it was very, very amazing that Francis was able to do what he did. And, I think it really bodes well for him to have a boxing career if he wants it.
I think there's no doubt. I think there's no doubt that he has a boxing career after this. Like even Eddie Hearn said the man earned another shot.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, and that's Eddie Hearn, famous promoter, like world renowned. So if he's saying that, and I'm sure other heavyweights are like, yeah, he does, but I don't know if I want to fight him. Right?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now there's all this there's all of this talk about Francis now. And the fact that the man bet on himself, as he continually bet on himself throughout the entirety of his life. So should we be surprised that he was able to do this for himself? Look at his whole life story.
Yeah.
It's a surprise he even got out of Cameroon.
Exactly.
All right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the scope of his whole life story, it's like he's never listened to anybody that doubted him.
Yeah.
He's had supreme confidence in himself to do what he's done. And now look at him. Like there was an Instagram post. I don't know if I sent it to you. I hope I did. Of him in 2011-12 working in the sand mines in Cameroon. And then in 2023 fighting the heavyweight champ in a boxing ring, surrounded by celebrities and all former Hall of Fame boxers and stuff like that. Like you can't come up with a story better than this guy's life. You really can't.
People should be putting together a movie right now over it. It's just one of the most incredible life stories that's any humans ever had to go through. So yeah, it's amazing. It blows me away, and I'm so happy for him. And it's kind of good that I'm a big Dana White supporter, but sometimes he crosses the line when people decide to move in a different direction than he wants them to. And I'm glad that it kind of got stuck to Dana White, hey, you're wrong. You were wrong. And, Francis is validated in what he did here. And, that to me was an extra little special part of it, because I don't think he should have, threw any shade at Francis at all when the contract negotiations broke down and he left.
No, of course not. But then that's not what Dana does.
No.
That's never been his MO. If you go against him, then he's going to come after you. Yeah. He's going to have some hard words to say once you leave the company. But through Francis's actions, that's all he had to do was just, perform.
Yeah.
And he outperformed, way outperformed. He so outperformed that now people are just like, so you wanted to get rid of that guy because he's useless to your brand.
Yeah.
He does nothing for you, right? Right. Of course he does. That's why PFL said, yeah, that's right. He's useless to you. We'll welcome him with open arms. Yeah. We'll actually pay him because we know what he's worth, because he just did that. Mm-hmm. He just did that. Yeah. So we have no problem paying him the money that he's earned. Yeah. None.
No, it's great. It's really great. Good for him. And I'm just blown away and super happy with it. I do have one complaint, and I shouldn't complain, but that card just took forever. It killed almost my entire Saturday. It started 11 o'clock Pacific time here, and there was, I think, 4 fights before it, all heavyweight fights. Some of them were good, two involved Canadians. But man, did they drag it out. Like, it was ridiculous. I was so angry. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, what the hell is going on here? Why are you guys doing this? The opening ceremony was good and all, but they could have squeezed that down at least probably 2 less hours. And it was just disgusting. It's something that's going to turn me off. Next time I'm going to just tune in for the main event, F everything else. And, you guys lost me when you dragged it out that much.
Because I was under the impression that the main card should have started at 2 Pacific, but instead, I believe it started at 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Like they stretched
man.
it out too long.
Yeah.
That what they should have they should have tightened it up. They
Yeah.
should have tightened up the whole boxing matches and everything else. They should have tightened it up. I don't know why they did that. I still don't understand that. It took so long that I was able to run out again, do stuff that I needed to do, come back, and still make it in time for the fight.
Yeah. Well, you texted me a couple times, and it seemed like, I was thinking, oh, he might miss it. He'll have to watch it later somehow. And then you finally texted me, and you said, "So how's the fight?" And I'm like, "It hasn't even started yet. Shit." And you were like, "Good, thanks." I was not good, thanks. I was like, "Damn it!" Like, what the hell? And so hopefully they get a lot of complaints and they will tighten it up next time, because it was dumb. Like, there's no way it should drag on for 5 hours before you even start the main fight. Like, that's bad.
No, it's just unneeded.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they dragged it on because of the temperature there, because you know how ridiculously hot it is and how much cooler it gets at nighttime. I don't know if that was their reasoning, but if it was, then just have it on later. Like, just tighten up the whole event.
Tighten it up, please. Yeah. Okay, what else? Few things to note tonight. World Series Game 3 is going on tonight. Tied 1-1. 9-1 victory for Arizona on Saturday. Amazing performance by them. Back in Arizona, first time since 2001 when they won the World Series back then, beating my Yankees. It still hurts 22 years later. They were going to have 2 guys throw out the first pitch tonight. Luis Gonzalez, he's the guy that got the winning hit to win the World Series over the Yankees. And the big unit, Randy Johnson, they were both going to throw out the pitch. He was the pitcher back then. Speaking of Randy Johnson and him, I saw this amazing picture today of a couple going out for Halloween on the weekend. And the guy was dressed up as Randy Johnson in the old Arizona Diamondbacks jersey, and his wife or girlfriend, his woman, was dressed like the bird that he killed when he threw the pitch, and the bird flew across home plate and got obliterated. It was hilarious. One of the funniest pictures I've ever seen. I thought, what an ingenious couple. The bird, the feathers were just all over, scattered bit of blood on there. It looked amazing. It made me laugh so much.
Yeah, that's funny. Now, when Randy threw out that pitch, he didn't hit another bird, did he?
I don't know. I didn't see it yet. No, it's being recorded. I haven't watched the game quite yet, but oh my God, that's pretty awesome. Pretty good to have those 2 guys in there. The game has the rookie Brendan Pfaadt for Arizona and Max Scherzer, the 39-year-old, pitching against each other. So the youngest and the oldest guys in the series facing off. Should be great. Texas has got off to a 3-0 lead. I think they scored 3 runs in the third. And I haven't got a quick update for the score. Let me see if I can give a update on the score right now. Anyway, no, I can't. But home run by Corey Seager. And should be a great game. I'm looking forward to it tonight. Really fun. Did you see this post that happened over the weekend where a truck was traveling in from the valley heading into the city, and it collided with a pickup truck? It was like a flatbed truck, collided with a pickup truck carrying fireworks.
Nope, didn't see that.
It ended up exploding, and the fireworks went off for an hour on Highway 1, shut down the highway. People were able to get out of their car, lay on the hood, and watch an hour fireworks display that was better than any fireworks performance that ever has been in history. Like, it was incredible. Usually the fireworks are about half an hour long. This was an hour-long fireworks display, and they're just going off like crazy. One of the wildest scenes you'll ever see out in Abbotsford on the highway.
Wow. Wow. And wait, did this happened on the weekend?
On the weekend, yeah.
No, I totally missed that. I didn't see that.
Incredible. Super hilarious and mind-blowing. Felix Auger-Aliassime won tennis tournament over the weekend, first tournament of the year. He won 4 times last year, so good to see him finally back. He won the tournament he won last year, was able to defend his title. It was in Switzerland. Really happy for him. He has dealt with a lot of injuries, so I saw the post match interview, and he just looked right in the camera and said, "I'm back," and everybody was happy here. He's such a joy to watch. The game was incredible. I cannot believe how powerful his shots are, and what a performance. He beat a guy he wasn't supposed to beat, and got the title. Really happy for him. He's definitely one of Canada's best, and he's reached up to number 6 in the world at his height. I think he can get even higher if he can keep on this trajectory. It was an amazing performance over the weekend.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that he's back and he's healthy, and he can probably reach those heights and surpass them as long as his health, as he stays healthy.
Yeah, that's true. As long as you stay healthy. Big news over the weekend. Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or for a record 8th time. That is the top soccer footballer player in the world. Mostly for his incredible performance in the World Cup, leading Argentina to the World Cup title. He also scored 21 goals for Paris Saint-Germain before he came over to Inter Miami, and he scored 11 goals in his 14 matches with Inter Miami. This is the first player to ever win the Footballer of the Year that's currently on a MLS team, so bringing even more exposure to MLS, Inter Miami, and everything. He's won it 8 times. The next guy was Cristiano Ronaldo, who won it 5. So blowing everyone away more and more and more. And really good to see, that he's still getting recognized as the best player in the world.
Yeah, and as he should, because like it's just the ultimate topper. You know what I mean? Like he's now pretty much he's accomplished everything he can in the sport.
Yeah.
And now he's literally riding off in the sunset with the MLS and still getting paid massive amounts of money.
Yeah, I know, incredible. His Argentinian teammate Emiliano Martinez won the Yashin Trophy for the best goalie in the world. So pretty cool. And Jude Bellingham, the English footballer, also plays with Real Madrid. He got the Kappa Trophy for the best player under 21. Messi is the second oldest player ever to win this prestigious award. He's 36 years and 4 months old. So really incredible. Very great to see, and I'm super happy. He's been my favorite player in his entire career, and I just love to see him keep getting accolades, even when he's now here over in North America. So NHL over the weekend, Canucks are playing phenomenal right now. They did lose in overtime on Saturday, but played really great in that game. They're playing Nashville tomorrow night. Really excited. We have tickets now. We got that prize that I mentioned last week. We are going to the New York Islanders game. That's been always my favorite team since I was a kid. We're going there in a couple weeks, so super excited. We got that $3,000 prize package, and kind of really blown me away how much they're really treating us well, and we're going that day. That's actually our anniversary day, so I get away with not having to do something big and go to some fancy place. We actually get to go to a game, so it's going to be a blast.
That's cool that you believe that you think that. You're not going to take her to a dinner before. No. You're like, this is the dinner. Going to the game. This
right,
is it. This is
right.
it.
Yeah, I'll probably do both.
Good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the NHL, they had the outdoor game, the Battle of Alberta, on yesterday. That was at Edmonton's Commonwealth Stadium. 55,000 people packed the place, sellout. Luckily, Connor McDavid came back from his injury and was able to play, and Edmonton gets the big 5-2 win. Man, it was phenomenal. Great to see. I love those outdoor games. They are a little bit far away in the football stands away from the rink, but great to see that they packed the house, and then the Oilers won and McDavid came back. It was great.
No, it's awesome because it harkens back to the old school days, like it's like playing outside and all that sort of stuff. But this time you get to see the pros do that.
Yeah.
So always going to be a hit. Was a great idea in the beginning. I'm glad that they continued with the tradition.
Yeah.
And thank goodness Connor was able to play.
Yeah.
So,
that was amazing. Yeah. I was blown away. I didn't think he did. They said 1 to 2 weeks when he got that injury, and he came back in a week. So pretty incredible. Yeah, when I was in Alberta, when I was in Saskatchewan, I would see people playing on the outdoor rinks every day. I would get dropped off after work, and I had about a 15-20 minute walk to my house when I first moved there, and I passed by 2 rinks and people were playing on them every single day. And it really harkens back to how the game began and started, and I think a lot of the guys embrace it as well. I sent you the video of them all arriving. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, wasn't that pretty amazing that they decided they would all look like all the Oilers players look like they were at one of the mines, or one of the industrial sites, and then all the Calgary Flames players were wearing overalls, no shirts, and I thought that was pretty neat how they arrived to the game.
No, that was cool. That was cool. And like obviously they were doing that for the game, and then also too with a little bit of the Halloween behind it. But it was fantastic.
Yeah,
really well done.
That was very neat. The Rugby World Cup ended up finishing on the weekend. Saturday, South Africa edged New Zealand 13-12, and incredible performance by them. South Africa now has 3 World Cups, and New Zealand only has 2, or maybe it's 4-3. I think it's 3-2 now. And incredible. The top 2 teams in the history of the sport got to go into the final. Not a high-scoring game, very, very tight, but South Africa ends up getting the victory, and a very, very well-played World Cup, according to everyone. France really embraced it. Tons of people at all the games, and it really was a great tournament.
Oh, it sounds like it was a fantastic tournament, and obviously it was really good because the 2 of the best teams came down to the final match, and it was a close one. Yeah. Pretty much almost a toss-up. So
it was amazing. Okay, a couple more notes just quickly. There's 2 playoff games here in Vancouver this coming weekend. CFL playoffs happen on Saturday. BC Lions will be hosting the Calgary Stampeders. 3:30 kickoff here. The 12-6 Lions against the 6-12 Stampeders, so they should beat them. Calgary did beat them a couple weeks ago, but I think BC rested a lot of their guys. They had nothing to play for. Calgary won 41-16. BC won the other 2 games they played against earlier this year. BC won 37-9 and 25-15. Let's hope they pack the place. BC Place should be rocking this weekend, and I hope they can really get a huge crowd out. I know that Doman has really kept the tickets low, and really bringing in buses from the interior, from the island, all over, up north as well. And we got tickets, so we're going to be there. We're going to put some stuff on our social media and on our website. And yeah, it should be a blast. We're really looking forward to the game.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be awesome. And the fact that they actually lowered the ticket prices to make sure that families and fans can afford it and go, I think that just speaks volumes to the new ownership.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And then the following day, the Whitecaps are hosting LAFC in their playoff game. That's game 2 of this best of 3 series. Whitecaps did lose on the weekend 5-2 to LA, but hopefully they fare much better in the rematch. They'll be able to have a whole week to prepare and get ready and have that home field advantage. I think BC Place should be full both days, and it's going to be a great atmosphere downtown. We plan to go down there as well, and yeah, it's going to be super fun in the city. We probably haven't had 2 playoff games back to back like that. I don't even know if we ever have, but this should be incredible.
No, I know it's going to be great. Great weekend for sports and a great weekend of playoff sports.
Yeah, yeah. F1 had their race, same. Max Verstappen won, Lewis Hamilton second, and Charles Leclerc third. Yeah, as they wind down the season, it's kind of, just going according to plan. It looks like Lewis Hamilton will probably finish second overall in the driver's standings, and he'll need to get Mercedes to amp up his car a little bit, and they can have a real true fight next year. Max is catching up to Lewis's records in a lot of ways, so Lewis is going to really want to try to hold off the young buck going in. But anyway, it was a fun race, and they will continue a few more races till the end of the year. Let's turn to the NFL. There was week 8 happened finally, and can you believe we're nearly halfway through this season with 17 games? There's no true halfway, but they got 18 weeks because everyone gets a bye. So after next week, we're halfway done the year. It's really flown by, in my opinion.
No, it has. It feels like it just started. And they're already at week 8.
Yeah, already. Okay, we've got Monday Night Football going on right now. I look up and I see that Detroit is winning 16-7 over the Raiders. There was field goals to start. Riley Patterson had 3 field goals for Detroit. Josh Jacobs ended up getting a short TD run for the Raiders, and now Sam Laporta got an 18-yard TD pass from Jared Goff to put them up 16-7 so far. Yeah, I fully expect Detroit to win this, even though Jimmy Garoppolo is finally back from injury, and they seem pretty healthy. Unfortunately, Jimmy G did throw a pick earlier in the game, and yeah, I expect Detroit to win this pretty handily. Dan Campbell was crying before the game, being interviewed, so all is right in the world of Detroit Lions football.
Yes, all is right. As long as that man is crying, that means that the team is really fired up. They're going to come out and they're going to win. And also feel like, I believe, like, me personally, Detroit's a better team than the Raiders. They should win this game.
Yeah. Detroit was terrible last week. Held to 6 points, and really shocked everyone after getting out to such a crazy 6-1 start, falling back to 6-2. But yeah, they seem to be the better team. This guy Jahmyr Gibbs, a really good draft pick by them, highest drafted running back since Barry Sanders. Last week he had a career high 20 touches, 140 yards from scrimmage, and I saw them use him like 6 or 8 times on that first drive right away, utilizing him a ton. And yeah, I expect he's going to be such a focal point of the offense all night. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's an emerging talent that's one of the best receivers in the game, I think.
Oh yeah, most certainly. I believe he is that good, and I think Sam Laporta is going to develop into one of the best tight ends in the game.
Yeah. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern time, trade deadline. kind of weird that you have it halfway through the season. Don't get why that is. Doesn't seem to be a very smart move, in my opinion. Don't know why, but it is tomorrow. Lots of names being thrown about that are possibly on the trade block. Two guys from the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, supposedly on the move if they can find a suitor. Montez Sweat is another guy. Kirk Cousins was on that list until he blew out his Achilles yesterday. So he will no longer be moving. But there was a couple trades today. The New York Giants traded the defensive lineman Leonard Williams to the Seattle Seahawks for 2 draft picks, a second rounder in 2024 and a 5th rounder in 2025. For some reason, the Giants are also paying almost his entire $10 million salary. So Seattle was like, yeah, sure. I guess we'll take him if you want. So I don't know why the Giants made such a weird deal, but I think they've given up on the season. So you might as well get rid of a bunch of guys, but I don't know why they had to take the salary back too.
You know what? That might have more to do with Seattle saying, if you want this deal, you're gonna have to take a salary, or else we're not gonna give you anything.
Yeah.
Which would be smart on their part.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. The Seahawks needed some depth after losing Nachina Nwosu. He had season-ending pec surgery just last week, so yeah, they needed some help there. The Eagles have made a trade with the Falcons. Your Falcons. Let's see what the details are. Kentavious Street, the defensive tackle, leaves Philly, and a 7th round pick to the Falcons for a 2024 6th round pick coming back. Street wasn't playing much in that defensive tackle rotation. They've got so many guys in there ahead of him on the depth chart, so he was there. But the Falcons needed a guy after Grady Jarrett blew out his ACL this weekend, so they needed to try to get some fortify that part of their team there. So I expect there'll be a few more trades by the deadline tomorrow. NFL trade deadline is weird because it is mid-season and there's not a huge amount of deals. For some reason, it's just hard to make trades happen. It's not like the other 3 major sports here in North America, but there will be some movement, I think.
Oh yeah, no, there'll be some. I'm very curious to see if Derrick Henry actually does go somewhere. If they get something back that is worth Derrick Henry's worth, you know what I mean? So it's that one bears following for sure.
Yeah. Well, I would be trying to get Henry on my team, that's for sure. Like to me, he's such a devastating running back that's just so powerful. You want him on your team. And Tannehill has been injured, but Will Levis came in yesterday, rookie, and first start he got 4 TD passes, and so they're like, who's Tannehill again? And yeah, so he might be on the way out. There was a bunch of quarterback injuries over the weekend. Tyrod Taylor ended up spending last night in the hospital, severe rib injuries. He got released luckily this morning or sometime today. He's considered week to week. I don't think we'll see him for a few weeks. It looked pretty serious. Buffalo Bills are close to signing Leonard Fournette as long as he could pass his physical. This is a guy that contributed to the Tampa Bay Bucks winning the Super Bowl and has been a really good running back. Wasn't able to find a team earlier this year, and yeah, it looks like the Bills are going to try to add him.
Oh, well, I think that would be a good ad for the Bills. Like veteran leadership, great pro, and would fortify their running back position.
Some guys are being. Oh, there was a signing today, just as he was about to hit this trade deadline. He was wanting to get a trade if they couldn't come up with a deal. Rashawn Gary, the Green Bay Packers linebacker, agreed to a 4-year, $107.5 million extension. So, I guess he was happy the trade deadline was close, and his threats ended up giving him a huge deal.
Yeah, that's a massive deal. I would never have guessed that he would have gotten a deal that lucrative, but good for him.
Yeah. Daniel Jones is supposedly cleared to play week 9, coming back from a serious neck injury. So great to see him back. Minkah Fitzpatrick was hurt yesterday, definitely ruled out for week 6, the Steelers safety. And Josh Dobbs was told he will be benched for the Arizona Cardinals. Clayton Tune to start. Kyler Murray is supposedly cleared to play, but they've decided he, I guess, will be, I don't know, still not taking the field. So kind of weird. Strange going on in Arizona team that's 1-6, 1-7. Pretty horrible. And quarterback controversy going on there.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, Kyler Murray wasn't involved in any of the trade talks when they want to get off him.
They were sure you'd think, but I guess no alternative maybe there. So maybe they're not ready to pull the plug, but you'd think they would. Okay, let's turn to the games. As always, we started in the NFC East, and we'll start with the front-running Philadelphia Eagles over Washington, an NFC East battle. Philadelphia is 7-1 now, a 38-31 comeback win over the Washington Commanders, who fall to 3-5. Jalen Hurts, phenomenal game, 29-38, 319 yards and 4 TDs. And AJ Brown, another 130-yard game with a couple TDs. First player in NFL history with 6 straight games with 125 yards plus. Great to see Julio Jones get a touchdown there. Devontae Smith. This team really rolling along, and I think the class by far of the NFC.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they won a tough game and against a very game Commanders.
Yeah.
Commanders like a roller coaster. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. But like when they're up, they're actually a really tough team to beat. Like they're really tough. Like Howell, 39-52, 397 yards and 4 touchdowns with 1 pick. But hey, you can't blame the loss on him. He tried his best to win this game, but the Eagles are just easily said they're just a superior team.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, well, Washington gave them all a big run for their money. They were up a lot of this game, and very impressive. He's got a lot of weapons, but Sam Howell has some really big games, like 3 yards away from a 404 TD game. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that got a 400-yard 4 TD game, like Tom Brady in his entire career probably had a dozen of those. Like, it's pretty tough to get 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in the NFL, and especially against a really good Eagles defense. Like, amazing. Dotson got a touchdown, Jamison Crowder TD, McLaurin and Logan Thomas all TDs. I'm impressed with Washington, and 3-5, but in their victories they've looked good, and even in this loss I thought they looked really good. But Eagles were able to pull it out, and 7-1 on the year, and really starting to distance themselves. Now that the Niners have lost 3 in a row, they're starting to pull away. Obviously, we'll talk about Dallas soon, who had an impressive performance, and Dallas is a game and a half behind the Eagles right now. But as I mentioned earlier, Montez Sweat is under trade rumors from the Commanders, and I expect him to leave. They don't want him to lose him for nothing as he goes into unrestricted free agency. So look for them to make a deal tomorrow morning. Philadelphia does host those Cowboys next Sunday, so a big battle in the NFC East. and Washington goes to New England. That's the early window Sunday. So let's turn to the Cowboys. They destroyed the Rams. This game was just out of reach. This like so fast. Like I watched the first little while and I thought, well, I don't really want to watch a massive blowout. I don't need to watch too much more of this. They just stomped them early. CeeDee Lamb was phenomenal. Dak Prescott was great. And they just were able to crush the Rams. It was not close at all throughout this game.
Yeah, the game was over pretty quick. Cowboys handled them. Stafford was pedestrian at best. 13 of 22, 162 yards, touchdown, pick. Yeah, he was inconsequential to this game. Prescott was massive, 25 of 31, just missed 6 passes, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Yeah. But Lamb was incredible, 12 receptions for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. Throwing Brandon Cooks in there for 3 receptions, almost 50 yards and a touchdown. Cowboys had this game locked up. Yeah. Pretty much almost immediately. Unfortunately, the Rams were they were out of their element this one.
I saw Deron Bland. He got his 3rd pick 6 of the year and ran it into the end zone. And right away they said that sets a Cowboys record. And I was like, really? I was shocked that Deion Sanders didn't have that record. Only had 2 in a season, and he stepped right in front of Cooper Kupp and just boom, ran it 30 yards down the sideline. And he's really stepped up since Trevon Diggs went down with injury, and really fortified that side of the field. And a lot of people were really concerned that boom, they were going to take a massive hit, and he's really been able to play amazing since that injury.
Yeah, which is kind of scary because that means the secondary is just that much scarier with another guy that's like, oh no, he's really good too, so it's fine.
Yeah, unreal. Stafford, I got to give him a little bit of credit, or I don't want to have crap on him so bad. He did injure his thumb and he got taken out and had a lot of troubles. They brought in Brett Rippon to try to do something. Obviously he couldn't do anything, but he was trying. They were trying to get a 2-point conversion, and he ended up really ripping his thumb pretty badly on the failed attempt, and he didn't look himself after that. He did try to play a bit, but you could tell he was quite hampered by it.
Yeah, that's true. I almost forgot about that injury definitely affected his throwing and everything else, his accuracy. But that Brett Rippon, impressed? No, not impressive at all.
No. Puka Nacua set an NFL record for most receptions through 81 games. He got a 61st. Was only 8 yards away from setting the yardage record for the first 8 games too. He was held pretty much in check though. 3 catches, 43 yards, but still has another record in his rookie year here. And Darrell Henderson had a pretty decent game, but other than that, the Rams were really, really shut down. They play Green Bay on Sunday, early window, and Dallas, as I mentioned, goes to Philly for that Titanic battle next Sunday. Titanic if Dallas steps up. Sometimes they don't in these big games, but I think a lot of people will be pretty excited to watch this. I see the Raiders have just scored a touchdown. Let's see. Marcus Peters, 75-yard interception return. So Jared Goff, not a happy camper. Pick 6 there. But 16-14 now. 11 and a half minutes left in the third quarter.
Oh, that is impressive. Pick 6. Yeah. Goff's got to take better control of that football. Yeah. Can't be turning over like that.
Okay, the last game involving an NFC East team had the Titanic Battle of New York between the New York Jets and the New York Giants. This game was brutal. This game was unbelievably terrible. The teams were 2 for 34 on third down. There was 24 punts. They had 24 punts. That's the most punts since a game in 1998. They only had 24 first downs. So as many punts as first downs in this game. Brutal, 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 brutal. These people had to go out in the cold and the rain in New York and witness one of the ugliest football games I've ever had to see. And I only really watched the highlights. It was bad, 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 bad. Greg Zerline was the hero. He hit a game-tying field goal the last play of the fourth quarter and a 32-yard field goal in overtime to get the win for the Jets, 13-10. Yeah, Jets were ugly, 2 fumbles. The Wilson brothers did a little bit there, but yeah, just weird, weird, weird. Do you know how many yards passing the Giants ended up having in this game?
8?
I think they had 9.
Oh, sorry, 9.
9 yards, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, is that ugly? 9 yards in the entire game. Like, holy cow. And they're trying to kill Saquon. Like, why do you give the guy 39 touches? Like, aren't you gonna hurt the guy? 39 touches? Come on, balance out a little bit. Like, you're gonna murder the guy. The guy's gotta be barely able to get out of bed today.
Well, that's the problem, though, is like he was our only offensive weapon that we could rely on. So we just kept giving him the ball because that was our best play. That was the Giants' best play. And the game was so good that let's see some more in overtime. That's how good this game was.
Yeah, brutal, hey? Oh my God. Daniel Jones, as I mentioned, he was still out. Tyrod Taylor got injured. He went to the hospital. So they had Danny DeVito in there. Actually, sorry, Tommy DeVito. But he was 2 for 7 for -1 yards. So great performance. I guess that's maybe Danny's brother. Maybe I wonder if he's taller than Danny. I hope so.
Oh, just by a hair, But that must have been for me the most impressive thing I've ever seen from any quarterback in quite some time. I don't know how you get -1 yards by trying to throw the ball. I don't know how to do that. He did.
Well, Darius Slayton's numbers this game were 1 catch for -1 yard, so that must have been the ball that he caught from Danny DeVito. Darren Waller was 1 for 4 yards, and he's hurt. He got out. He's got done. And Matt Breida had 1 catch for 4 yards. That's the total of the entire amount. Unreal. Kayvon Thibodeau, great on defense, 3 sacks of Zach Wilson, but oh man, what a yawner. Like, oh, poor fans that had to shell out big bucks to be at this Titanic New York battle.
Yeah. It's so Titanic, super Titanic. I would have to guess next time for fans next year, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna hard pass on this game.
Yeah,
hard pass. If Aaron Rodgers is not on the Jets, hard pass.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers warming up on the field?
Nah.
Jesus Christ, he doesn't even look hurt. He was throwing the football, catching the football, throwing the football. He doesn't even look hurt anymore. It's unreal. Like, he was out there just moving and throwing the ball, and I was blown away. The guy's got to be a freaking robot. Like, maybe he went to that dark place and got some kind of injections, and I don't know, man. But he looks like he could start next week.
That's cool. Did he go to South America, get some stem cells put in there? It's like, we're gonna fix you up quick, buddy. You're gonna be good to go in a month.
Maybe. You and I have talked about LeBron James and how much money he puts into his body, and I think Aaron Rodgers has dropped $1 million in the past month on his body, and he's ready to go. I don't know, man, but yeah, look at the footage. To me, you couldn't even tell he was injured whatsoever.
Oh, I'd have to look. But you know what? I know what Jets fans should be thinking, which is, no, we're not going to take the risk. We'll see you next year, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, amazingly enough, the Jets are 4-3. Giants fall 2-6. But yeah, Zach Wilson just doing enough to keep it afloat here. They play my Chargers on a week tonight, Monday Night Football. Looking forward to the Chargers beating up on the Jets. The Giants go to Vegas. Vegas plays the short week. That's the 1:25 kickoff time, Pacific time for that game. Okay, NFC West. Let's turn to there. The Seattle Seahawks now lead the NFC West. Now the Niners have lost 3 in a row. Seattle pulled out a comeback win, 24-20 over Cleveland. Jackson Smith in Jigba caught the 9-yard TD pass from Geno Smith late to get the victory. Geno had great numbers again, a couple touchdowns. Lockett caught one. And DK Jake Bobo got another touchdown, this time on the ground. Pretty cool. And yeah, a very great performance all around by Seattle. Cleveland's got a super tough defense, so I wasn't expecting this to be a blowout. I thought Seattle would have a hard time, but nice to see them get the victory.
Yeah, it was great victory. Great win. Walker actually had a pretty good game with 8 carries for 66 yards. But I definitely enjoyed Jake Bobo getting in the end zone again. I like that kid. Yeah. I think he's going to do great things, big things for the Seahawks going forward.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, he's fun. I think he's become like the favorite teammate out of all the Seahawks. I can't believe when he has any success, how many guys come over and they look just absolutely thrilled. I think he's just become one of the favorites in the locker room.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to me. It's pretty obvious to me, and it's great that he's like contributing, and a great win by the Seahawks against a very tough Browns defense.
Cleveland's obviously still missing Deshaun Watson. PJ Walker had pretty good numbers, 250 yards through the air and a touchdown. He did throw a couple of picks. Rich Wolin and Julian Love picked him off for the Seahawks. I like this Pierre Strong Jr. 10 carries, 41 yards. That's decent. 1 catch, 41 yards. So throw him the ball a little bit more, I think, would be the plan. Kareem Hunt got another touchdown on the ground. Don't know why they didn't give him the ball more. Only 14 carries. He's a guy that really can grind out a lot of great yards for you. Cleveland hosted Cardinals, so not a tough test for them. That's the early window Sunday. Also the early window Sunday, Seattle goes to Baltimore, which will be a stiff test as the Ravens are playing good ball. Okay, I mentioned the Niners a couple times. Let's talk about them now. They got beat 31-17 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals won the 3rd straight game, and now the Niners have lost 3 straight. Everybody was ready to call Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy the greatest thing since Tom Brady, and now he's fallen off the map a little bit. People are like, can the Niners win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy? Overreaction times and all this. He did throw 2 picks on 2 straight passes, 2 different possessions, and he also had a fumble. So yeah, you can put some blame definitely on him for this, but I think I definitely do not blame him, for this 3-game losing streak. They're just, falling on a bit of hard times, and but Cincinnati is a team that had really tough start because Joe Burrow was hurt, and now they're really showing their true colors. This is a really good team, and a team that's been one of the best teams in the NFC in the AFC for a few years. So, I think it's just, not such a shock to me.
No, it's not a shock to me either. No. Like the 49ers, it's football. Yeah. So, what I mean? Like they've fallen on tough times. I think they can still play their way out of it. I don't think they're just going to continue to keep losing for the entirety of the season. I don't think that's going to happen. Like, no. I literally don't think that's going to happen. All right. But Burrow, who couldn't move in the beginning of the season, well, he moved a lot in this game.
Yeah.
Like, he was running. He was running. He was going for first downs. Threw for 283 yards. 3 TDs, no picks. His favorite receiver, Jamar Chase, had 10 receptions for 100 yards and 1 touchdown. Mixon had 16 carries, 87 yards and 1 touchdown. That, like, the Bengals are beginning to hit their stride now.
Yeah.
And that's because Burrow is healthy.
Yeah.
That's clearly what's happening. Burrow's healthy. Bengals are hitting their stride.
Yeah, he's looking great, and we were pretty concerned about him earlier in the season, and Cincinnati did not look good. Now that he seems to be back to 100% health, changing the narrative, and boom, now they're one of the teams to beat, and looking great. He had a phenomenal game. He had 14 yards rushing in the first 6 games. He had 43 yesterday. So he's back. He's healthy, and really looking like his old self. Christian McCaffrey tied an NFL record with his 17th straight game with a touchdown. He had 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. George Kittle had a phenomenal game, 150 yards on 9 receptions. Ayuk had 109 yards on 5 catches, and I liked Eric Armstead on their defense. He had 2 tackles, 2 assists, and 2 sacks. Good performance, but the Niners just falling on a bit of hard times, and coming up against the Bengals team that is much better than their record. If Burrow's healthy this entire year, they're probably 5-2, 6-1, maybe even 7-0. So I think Cincinnati's going to be a force to be reckoned with for the next little while.
Oh yeah, I think they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with for the rest of the regular season for sure. Now that he's healthy, clearly, the Bengals going to be a problem for many teams moving forward.
I think Joe Burrow is one of the only guys to have a winning record against Patrick Mahomes. I think he's beat him every time they faced each other. So pretty incredible. This should be a great game. The Sunday nighter, Cincinnati hosting Buffalo. Really looking forward to that one. Should be a great battle. San Francisco has a bye this week, so they can start figuring it out. I guess Shanahan and the boys will come together, and I'm sure they'll shoot out of the gate really good in that second half. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars next. Should be a great game as well. Okay, sticking with the NFC West here. We've got the Arizona Cardinals falling to 1-7. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens 31-24. Baltimore 6-2 now on the year. This was the Gus Edwards show. 3 touchdowns. Very phenomenal performance from him. Mark Andrews had the other touchdown. Lamar was able to run for 1 himself. And I'm as I said, Baltimore's a good team. Arizona's not. This wasn't very surprising result.
No, it's not. But you know what is surprising to me is why Dobbs is getting benched. That's the one thing I don't actually understand. It's like, is he too good? Is that why? You guys really want to tank the season? It's like, you're doing a little too good, son. So I'm gonna have to sit you down.
Yeah. Well, he had 2 touchdown passes and ran 1 in himself. No. He did have a couple picks, but 3 touchdowns he engineered. I've seen a lot worse, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm just like, okay, so you're at least you're not trying to hide what you're trying to do here, which is
right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're probably trying to get that number 1 overall draft pick and figure it out. Yeah, that looks like it to me. Baltimore, Seattle, as I mentioned, early window Sunday. Cards go to the Browns. Also that early window. We'll see what happens there. It's a dumpster fire, and I think there'll be some major moves out of there. They'll probably get rid of all their good guys so they can for sure finish last in the NFL.
That would be the best if they just said, you know what? You're too good. You're too good. You're really too good. All of you are gone.
Yeah, I could see it happening. Okay, NFC North. We touched on it a little bit already. The Monday Night Battle. Still 16-14. Winding down in the third quarter here. Detroit and Vegas. The other NFC North team I want to talk about is the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings here. Minnesota ended up winning this game 24-10, but just devastating news about Kirk Cousins. He was actually on a career year. Halfway through the season, he had the best numbers of his career. And this is a prolific passer, a guy that's really lit up the league in his entire long career. But a non-contact Achilles injury that's putting him out for the season. This is a guy that I really enjoy watching. I even got so much more appreciation with him watching the Netflix series. And yeah, devastating. I think everybody was really sad to hear and see this news.
Yeah, especially the Vikings, who were thinking of trading him, and then they couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's his last snap ever for the Vikings, and we'll see if he can recover fully. Maybe he'll go and hang out with Aaron Rodgers and try to get back as much as he can. The Vikings might make a trade here to get somebody. Their rookie Jaron Hall came in and took over. He's, I think, over his head, and it could be tough. So I would expect that they'll probably make a deal sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, I would expect that too. From what I saw, he wasn't very good. No. So yeah, I would expect them to make a move.
I got something here that has, here's his resume. He was a 5th round pick this year. He was in he played for BYU his last season, 3,100 yards, 31 passes, 6 interceptions. He was a teammate of Puka Nacua. He threw 5 TD passes to Puka last year, and he was also a teammate of Zach Wilson from 2018 to 2020. And so his resume is not too terrible. He did fall down to the 5th round, but yeah, we'll see. He looked a little overwhelmed. Came in, didn't really give a lot. He only had 4 passes, but I do expect they'll make a move and bring in sort of a veteran guy, even if he does start this week, because he has been there all season and he knows the playbook. I expect a veteran will probably take over very soon.
Supposedly knows the playbook. Supposedly,
right?
So let's just go with that.
Right. Yeah. Jordan Love just looked a little bit like a rookie, and this is kind of his rookie year. Only putting up 10 points. Romeo Dodd's got the only TD for Green Bay, and they're still in this rebuild mode for sure.
Yeah. No, they are, and they're just gonna have to be patient with Love. If Love is gonna be their guy, he's gonna go through these rookie mistakes. He's gonna have these games.
Minnesota goes to Atlanta, play your Falcons early window Sunday, and Green Bay hosts the Rams same time. Okay, the last NFC North battle is Chicago Bears against the LA Chargers. That was the Sunday nighter. Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert really led the Chargers to this 30-13 win. Chargers only 3-4 on the year. Bears fall 2-6. Herbert had a 300-yard game with 3 touchdowns. Eckler had really pedestrian on the ground game, 15 for 29, but 7 for 94 through the air with a touchdown. Get him that ball in space, and he's gonna really get some great yards for you. And another great performance from Eckler and Herbert.
Yeah, that's a great thing about Eckler. Like if he doesn't have it going on the ground, well, then just pass it to him. You get it going one of 2 ways, right? So Herbert must be really happy to have a guy like that. That's that versatile. He's 31 of 40, 298 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Herbert. And Parham Jr. also had a good game. It was 4 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, love him. Yeah. Derwin James and Jason Taylor both had picks for the defense. Tyson Bagent, good to see his arm wrestling father on the sideline, really cheering for him. Pretty decent game. Unfortunately, threw a couple picks, and this Bears team is pretty bad. But Scotty Miller, good to see him. Long-time slot receiver. got a touchdown, and Brian Robinson got the other for them. Unfortunately, they had some injuries though. Drake London got hurt, and Kadari Hodge as well. 3 catches, 75 yards, and then he goes out with an injury. That's tough. Chicago goes to New Orleans to face the Saints on Sunday. Early window there, and the Chargers Jets on the Monday nighter, like I mentioned a little earlier. Okay, NFC South. The Falcons and the Saints are tied at 4-4 in this division. The Bucks are 3-4, and the Panthers are 1-6. The Titans pulled out a 28-23 win over the Falcons. Will Levis, rookie quarterback, gets his first career start, and phenomenal game. 4 TD passes on 240 yards, and DeAndre Hopkins became his favorite target. 3 touchdowns on 4 catches. That's smart playing on the part of a rookie. Get it to D-Hop and let him do his work.
Yeah, let D-Hop cook, or at least allow him the chance to cook. Like, I'm looking at this. I see Will Levis is like, all right, so guys, what took you so long? Because Tannehill clearly didn't realize, it's like, oh, DeAndre Hopkins is on my team? I didn't know that. When did he get here? Like what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Yeah, like, this was long overdue. I think they should have had Levis in there earlier than this game, because Tannehill was clearly not doing much.
No, true. DeAndre Hopkins touchdowns were 61, 47, and 16. Pretty damn impressive. Derrick Henry had 100 yards on the ground and 21 through the air on 26 touches, and that might have been his last game as a Titan. I would be shocked, as Titans are only 3-4, and why would you want to get rid of a guy like that? But there's so many rumors that I just feel like it's kind of inevitable. Desmond Ridder had not that great of a game, left the game, and Taylor Heineke came in. Was okay in mop-up duty, but Falcons fall to 4-4. They host the Vikings on the early window Sunday, and Titans go to Pittsburgh, and that's the Thursday nighter this week. That should be a great game. Steelers, Titans. I look forward to that one.
No, that should be a good game. A good matchup.
Yeah. Okay, sticking with the NFC South, the Saints, as I mentioned, are 4-4. They beat the Colts 38-27, who fall to 3-5. Derek Carr, Rashid Shaheed, and Taysom Hill led the charge. Carr was good, 300 yards passing, couple touchdowns. Shaheed, 3 catches for 153 yards, like over 51 yards a catch average. That's pretty impressive. Kamara got a touchdown on the ground and a touchdown through the air, and Taysom Hill had 2 touchdowns on the ground. I love the Saints when they got all these pieces working. Derek Carr must be so happy to be able to have this many weapons at his disposal.
Yeah, like when they got it going, they have a lot of weapons, yeah, and they could do a lot of damage when they got it going. Yeah. And Olave wasn't really even kind of considered in this win, and they still have him as well. So yeah, great win by the Saints. But on the Colts side, really glad to see Taylor beginning to find his legs here. He had 12 carries for 95 yards. He's beginning to have some impact for the Colts, and it's just great to see.
Yeah, it is great to see. Yeah, they've got some decent weapons there, and glad he's back. Yeah, it was tough on those first 4 games he wasn't in there, and yeah, they sorely missed him, and yeah, he's finally rounding into form. I like it. For 12 carries for nearly 100 yards. That's impressive. New Orleans hosts Chicago on the early window Sunday, and Indy goes to Carolina, who just got their first win this weekend. So not that tough of a battle for Indy. Sticking with the NFC South, Bucks, as I mentioned, are 3-4. They lost 24-18 on the Thursday nighter last week. as I usually say, Thursday night or so far ago, we don't want to get too much into it, but I do want to mention Josh Allen had an absolutely phenomenal game. 324 yards through the air, a couple TD passes, and he was 7 for 41 with a touchdown run himself. Really looks like he's fully healthy and looking good, and he was able to find all his targets for touchdowns. Nice performance from the Bills beating the Bucks 24-18.
Yep, nice performance. Davis had 9 receptions at 87 yards and a touchdown, and Kincaid had 5 receptions, 65 yards for a touchdown. Great win by the Bills. Mayfield did what he could, tried his best, still failed. Anyways, 25 and 42, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns in the loss.
Yeah. Are we still saying in Baker we trust?
Yeah, because there's nobody else. There's no one. There's no one.
Yeah. He's got those weapons in Godwin and Evans and Rashad White, all great guys. I think the record should be even better, but we'll see. Tampa Bay goes to Houston, plays the early window Sunday, and I mentioned earlier Buffalo plays Cincinnati in the Sunday nighter, so I'm really excited about that game. The last team in the NFC South that we got to talk about is those Carolina Panthers. Got their first victory of the season, and maybe that's why the Cardinals are like, yay, we can really tank and we can finish at the bottom. This was highly touted as the battle between the number 1 overall draft pick, Bryce Young, and the number 2 overall draft pick, CJ Stroud. And a lot of people were saying Stroud was much better pick than Bryce Young because they had already won 3 of their first 6 games, and Panthers were still winless. I don't know, 15-13, but both quarterbacks didn't really put on much of a show. This was actually the Eddie Dinero Pinheiro show. He got his 3rd field goal as time expired, a 23-yarder to pull this out, 15-13. So I guess Bryce Young had bit better numbers, but kind of a wash.
I would say so, because Young had 1 touchdown through the air and Stroud had 1 touchdown with his legs. There you go. Yeah. That impressive stuff. What absolute bar? No, not really. Anyways, there's not really much to say. Panthers pulled out a win in a very boring game. Yeah. So good stuff.
Chuba Hubbard, the Edmonton product, has sort of become the number 1 running back there, but didn't really get a lot going. 15 carries, 28 yards. He did have 26 yards on a couple catches, but I hope they can get some really good blocking schemes, get him up in space, and I think he can become a guy that they can rely on. 17 touches is quite a bit, but obviously they weren't giving him very many holes if he's only getting 28 yards on 15 carries.
No, he didn't have many holes to run through at all. So yeah, they're going to have better blocking schemes for him to have some success on that team.
Houston hosts Tampa Bay early window Sunday, and Carolina hosts Indy, and that's 1:05 kickoff Pacific time. Okay, now we're finally in the AFC. This is the East. Miami leads the East with a 6-2 record. Buffalo's 5-3. The Jets are 4-3, and the Patriots are 2-6. Miami beat New England 31-17. Miami lost last week 31-17 to Philly, so they were able to flip the script and reverse the score. Tua had a phenomenal game. Jalen Waddle was great. Tyreek Hill was great. I do want to mention that Tyreek Hill is setting records week after week. After 8 games, he has 1,014 yards receiving with 8 touchdowns, on pace for 2,155 yards. That would blow away the all-time yardage record for a receiver. And you just say run, go, and just throw it as fast and far as you can, and he's bringing it down. Was able to get another great touchdown grab like that, and Waddle contributed as well. Impressive. Yeah, when they're running like this, this is an impressive, fun team to watch.
Yeah, when they're running like this, they're the best offense in the NFL, and they prove it. They prove it time and again. To 30, 45, 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 lone pick. Mostert was good, 13 carries, 46 yards and a touchdown. And it's funny to me because they're still missing a very dynamic player in HN. And then when that guy comes back, it's like, oh no, you have another speedster back there, so deal with that too as well.
Yeah. True, yeah. Chase Claypool got his first catch, 1 catch, 15 yards. He's in there. Jalen Ramsey finally came back. He's been injured the entire year. He got himself a pick. Played limited snaps, so great to see him already contribute in a limited way coming in for first game of the year. New England, Mac Jones really not that much utilized. This is a weird offense and strange to watch. Kendrick Bourne, their top receiver, unfortunately suffered a torn ACL and is gone for the season. He left in the fourth quarter. He had 37 catches, 406 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the season, and was knocked out with that injury. He's an unrestricted free agent coming up this year, so I would say he's done in New England. Will not probably suit up there again, and he'll be a big loss.
Yeah, no, that is a big loss for a kind of an anemic offense. So I don't know who's going to step up for them, but somebody will, I guess.
Yeah. Tons of rumors swirling around Kyle Duggar, their top tackle yesterday. He had 6 tackles, 2 assists, 1 sack, and 1 pick. And unfortunately has not been able to get together with the hoodie and get a deal signed, heading for unrestricted free agency. I think if they don't put a contract together this evening, Belichick will have no choice but to trade him. He's too valuable of a piece to get nothing for. And I fully expect a lot of teams really wanted to add this guy. He was phenomenal yesterday and really showcased what he can bring to the table to a team that's competing for a big playoff push.
Oh yeah, for sure. Somebody will definitely ante up and give the hoodie what he wants for that guy, because he definitely improves any team that he's a part of.
Yeah. So Detroit has pushed the lead to 23-14. Jahmyr Gibbs, their rookie, 27-yard TD run. So 23-14, end of the third quarter there. Okay, we covered the Bills and the Jets already in the AFC East, so that's covered there. Patriots host the Commanders Sunday early window. Miami goes to Frankfurt and plays the Chiefs. That's a 6:30 a.m. Pacific time start. Jason will not be up, but I will, and I'll give him the details when he does wake up around noon, and we'll find out. 2 straight games in Frankfurt, Germany. Be interesting. I flew in there a few years ago, and yeah, beautiful city, and it'll be cool. I did see the stadium, the big soccer stadium. They're gonna have the football game there, and yeah, it'll be cool to see how well they embrace the 2 games that they'll have there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure they will. They'll embrace them with open arms, and it's going to be a raucous crowd, raucous German crowd.
I was blown away in those games in London how many fans seem to make the trek from North America. I mean, there are a lot of Americans and Canadians that do, reside there, but I think when I saw the crowd, I would say, most of the people actually flew over there. And I guess, if you went there just over a week, you could have caught 2 games there, and probably would have been a pretty cool trip for a lot of Americans and Canadians that went there.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be an awesome sports trip for sure. Because then you get to go overseas, have a little bit of vacation, and then get to see some sports, some NFL as well. Great trip.
Yeah. For anybody that's listening that's going to make the trip over there, Frankfurt, make sure you stand up and walk around a few times on the flight. While I was flying to Frankfurt, I got a blood clot in my leg, and it's harmed my health. And so I heard about that before. Never crossed my mind the entire flight. Unfortunately, did get a blood clot as I got off the plane in Frankfurt, and thought, "What the hell's wrong with my leg?" And so yeah, anybody that's heading there, please take a few walks around, head to the bathroom, stretch your legs. You do not want to deal with a blood clot.
No. That's it can be quite dangerous for sure.
So we're gonna be heading to the AFC West, and the upset of the weekend, Denver Broncos ended up beating the Kansas City Chiefs 24-9. Denver, what the hell? Holy cow, how did they pull this off? I know Patrick Mahomes was sick, and I think the rest of the team threw up when they went into the locker room after. This is one of the worst performances I've ever seen from the Chiefs since Mahomes has been there. Can you blame this on an injury, or how did this happen? 24-9, Denver winning? I would have never guessed this.
No, nobody would have. Not even the good Lord above. He had money on the game. He didn't see this coming either. So, it happens. It happens. It's football. It happens. Mahomes, the team, period, just had a bad game. All right. Yeah. And it just happened that it had a bad game against not a very good team. So, I think this is a one-off. I don't think this is anything to worry about. Whatever.
Patrick Mahomes entering Sunday was 16-0 in road division games, 12-0 versus the Broncos, and had 29 straight games with a pass touchdown, and had 0 on Sunday. That was the longest active streak in the NFL. First time in 30 games that he didn't get a touchdown pass. Travis Kelce had no Taylor Swift. Only got 6 catches for 58 yards. And Sky Moore, nice name, but bad hands. Like, he should have had that touchdown catch. He blew it. That would have been Mahomes at least 1 touchdown. He dropped it. He was only 1 catch, 8 yards, dropped a couple balls. And their receiving core, once they lost Tyreek Hill, other than Kelce, man, I'm not impressed with many of the guys. And it's showing on games like this.
It's patchwork. It was always patchwork. Yeah. Because the thing that they relied on was Mahomes being just that good. That doesn't matter. As long as he has Kelce. By the way, Chiefs better pay that guy. Yeah. I would hate to see what that offense looks like without him. So whatever. But yeah, I think the Chiefs need another guy to go along with Kelce. They just need another guy. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know if they're going to find him through the draft, but they need another guy, man. They really do. Russell
Wilson's numbers weren't that great, but 3 touchdown passes are good, and no picks. So, did enough. They gave the ball to Javonte Williams 30 times, and he racked up 98 yards altogether, got a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy got a couple catches and a touchdown, and so did Cortland Sutton, got a touchdown on a couple catches. Did you hear Steve Smith go on on the offensive over how bad Jerry Jeudy was, he thought? Did you hear his comments? They were really rough.
Oh, man. First off, Jerry Jeudy should know better. Don't get on that dude's bad side. That's Steve Smith. You know what I mean? Nah, man. I heard the comments. I heard what Steve Smith tried to do, and then Jerry Jeudy blew him off. And then, Steve Smith, he responded in a Steve Smith way. Yeah. That's what happened. Yeah. He responded in his way. That's what Jeudy just needs to understand. That's been his mentality his entire life.
Yeah.
So you just should have played nice. But since you didn't, that's what you get.
Crazy, yeah. Unreal. Yeah, this was the shock of the weekend, but Casey's still 6-2 and moving on. They host the Dolphins in Germany, as I mentioned. Wow, that game is going to be awesome. It's too bad it's so early for you, but you better set a PVR if you can. This should be a hell of a game. I'd love to see the offensive explosion as long as KC can do what usually Mahomes can do. This should be like a 48-45 score.
Yeah, exactly. It should be.
And Denver has a bye this week. They go to Buffalo after the bye. Okay, now we just have one game we have to cover in the AFC North, and we're completely done. This was the Jags Steelers game. Jags won 20-10 over the Steelers. Steelers just look pathetic on offense. Oh, it's rough. They got such a great defense, but so bad. They're rough. AFC North is led by the Ravens at 6-2, Pittsburgh second at 4-3, Cleveland's also 4-3, and the Bengals are 4-3. So very tight battle for this division. Kenny Pickett got hurt, and Mitch Trubisky came in. Didn't look very good. I was surprised to see Mitch Trubisky makes $5.5 million on an $11 million contract as a backup, and it didn't look great as the backup coming in. Steelers are 4-3, but man, that offense looks pretty lousy. I was blown away. I tried to watch all this game. I couldn't. It was just too rough to see Pittsburgh struggle this bad.
Yeah. Trubisky earning every dollar of that contract. Every dollar. Anyways, so Lawrence went 24-32, 292 yards, touchdown, 1 pick. But the guy that was the hero of the game for the Jags was Etienne, 24 carries for 79 yards, and then another 3 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He had a great.
Andrew Wingard, he got a big pick late in the game, and he was running down the sideline, and a guy was waving the terrible towel, and he snatched it off the guy and started running around the field waving the terrible towel, the Steelers' terrible towel, and got a lot of boos. Had to get a police escort out of the stadium, and he was trying to rub it in their face that they got the big victory there. It was a really good defense for Jacksonville. Josh Allen, their incredible player, got a couple of sacks. Fasada Lukin got 9 tackles, 2 assists, and as I mentioned, Nygaard had the interception with 5 tackles. So yeah, Jacksonville 6-2 and really playing well now. They've turned this franchise around. They get a bye this week, so be able to come out swinging in a couple weeks. Steelers host the Titans Thursday, as I mentioned. And the only division we didn't talk about fully, other than covering the other divisions, was the AFC South. Jags are 6-2, Texans are 3-4, Titans 3-4, and the Colts 3-5. So Jags are running away with this division, and big money could be placed on them winning it, and they've got it, I think. That's the NFL story for now. I'm sure there'll be tons to talk about next week with the trades made by tomorrow, and then week 9, halfway through the year. Pretty crazy. We just finished week 1 of the NBA season, heading tonight into week 2. Some teams have emerged as some of the front runners we expected. Denver's the only 3-0 team heading in. They're the defending champions. Jokic looked great as usual. He's averaging 26 points, through 13 rebounds, and almost 8 assists. Jamal Murray, 21 points on 55% shooting from the floor, 53% shooting from 3-point range, and 100% so far from the line. Those two guys going like this, look out. They're going to just keep going and going and going. This defending champion should be at the top of the conference pretty much the entire year.
Yeah. They're that good. They're that good. Last night I was watching a little bit of the afternoon game that they played against the Thunder, and they smashed them. They just utterly annihilated them.
Yeah.
128-95. MPJ actually had a great game. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and then the Joker just puts up 28 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. Murray, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. It's funny when you watch the Nuggets play and they run their offense, because since that dude Joker doesn't make any mistakes with the basketball, he just makes it flow effortlessly.
Amazing. Eh?
You can tell that the difference with the Thunder, when they didn't have their thing going, their offense sputtered. They had a tough time trying to score the ball.
Yeah.
Nuggets will never have that problem with Joker in the lineup.
No, he's so talented, and such a great distributor of the ball and scoring and rebounding, and he's got it all. So there are 5 2-0 teams heading into this week. Obviously Boston, not a surprise. Tatum came out the gate, 28 points, 9.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists on 50% shooting. Really looking good. Kristaps Porzingis, really great. So far, 23.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks. Boston really made some big moves in the offseason, and they're paying off well. And this is going to be definitely a team that's right up there the entire year. This team is super solid, and they're going to be competing against Milwaukee for the top of the East.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Porzingis trade really has given their offense a certain versatility that they never had. Which is the stretch 5 that stretches the defense, because he can step out and he can drain those 3-pointers, and he can drain long distance 3-pointers too as well. So the Celtics look fantastic. They look really good. This new look Celtics is going to be a problem for the rest of the league.
Yeah. One of the other 2-0 teams that stands out for me was the New Orleans Pelicans. When we did our preview show last week, we talked about them doing so well until Zion went down. Zion's back now. He's averaging 23.5 points over those first 2 games and looking great. This is a 3-headed monster with Brendan Ingram. He's averaging 22.5 points, and CJ McCollum averaged 18 points. CJ is hitting 44% of his 3-pointers so far, and their defense has looked good, only allowing 94 points per 100 possessions so far in those first couple games. I think this team is poised to really be one of those teams at the top of the conference again.
Yeah, they will be one of those teams at the top of the conference if Zion stays healthy.
Yeah, that's super key, obviously. Pacers 2-0, an offensive explosion so far, 128 points per game average. They put up 143 on Washington over the weekend. Tyrese Halliburton is their top scorer, and Andrew Nesmith, he signed a contract just on the cusp of the season, averaging 16.5 points, 7 rebounds, 50% from 3-point range. Really a good compliment to Tyrese there, and Pacers, coming out the gate looking good.
Yeah, they're looking great, and nothing's better than playing the woeful Wizards and just beating up on them, running up the score.
The Mavs are 2-0. Luka had a 33-point triple-double his first game, and then a 49-point explosion against the Nets, hitting 4 straight threes down the stretch. And did you see that one ridiculous shot that he made and ended up scoring it? I think it put it into overtime. It was just one of the craziest shots I've ever seen somebody sink.
No, he's amazing. He's amazing. I'm glad that Kyrie has realized that. It's like, no, that's his team. It's better than you, right? Because he hit 9 threes in that game. 9.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, incredible. Orlando is a big surprise at 2-0. Great defense so far, and their 2 guys that are leading the way are Franz Wagner and Cole Anthony. They're averaging 40 points between the 2 of them, and good shooting numbers. very impressive for them out of the gate. There's 7 teams at 2-1. Phoenix comes out 2-1. I can't believe Booker's hurt already. That's pretty brutal, but KD's picking up the slack, averaging 32.5 points on 56% shooting so far. And a lot of the rest of the guys have really stepped up and really, in the absence of Booker, all looked good in the games that I've watched so far.
Yeah, no, like I think Phoenix, the question mark on Phoenix was their depth.
Yeah.
And I think for now, some of those questions are somewhat been answered that they can hold up. And especially with the fact that Booker's out with an injury and Beal was out with a bad back, I believe, too, as well, for a couple games there. So yeah, the Suns are going to be at the top of the West, be just purely on the talent of those 3 guys.
Yeah. Golden State, Draymond's back. Great to see him return, contributing to a 2-1 start. That ended up pushing Chris Paul to the bench. First time in his entire career that he's coming off the bench. He did it again tonight. In 25 minutes tonight, he scored 13 points, had 6 rebounds and 5 assists, contributing to a big 130-102 win over the Pelicans tonight. Steph Curry led the way with 42 points and spread out the offense quite a bit. Gary Payton had 10 points. Trace Jackson Davis had 13. Moses Moody had 13. And so did Chris Paul. Yeah. So crazy that Chris Paul's coming off the bench, but he seems fine with it and was able to come in. And Steph struggled a bit in the game I watched there yesterday, but Chris Paul held the fort while he did. And then once Steph started getting hot, he fed him the ball, and Steph hit a bunch of threes in the end to beat Houston yesterday. And yeah, this is a work in progress for Steve Kerr, but what do you think so far?
I think so far so good. Like, the thing is with Chris Paul, he's used to playing a certain way for his offense, but he's smart enough that he'll figure this out.
Yeah,
he'll figure it out. Like, and on top of that, a large problem with the Warriors last year was their turnovers. Chris Paul now running the second unit, them turnovers are going to be cut down drastically.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that in itself is a blessing for the Warriors.
That's true. Yeah. I've been impressed with them not turning the ball over as much. They definitely had tons of troubles with that last year, especially on the road. But the games I watch, and they're actually keeping control of the ball and not throwing it away with some crazy fancy passes and stuff. Just really legitimate game. So Sacramento 2-1. De'Aaron Fox looking great out of the gate, averaging 31 points. Sabonis averaging 18 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists. Really huge. This two-headed monster should be a formidable duo this year, and they need a third guy to step up for them to be constantly up there near the top of the conference.
Yeah, and I believe that third guy is actually going to be Malik Monk, because Monk is a great scorer. He was very instrumental in their win against the Lakers yesterday. He had 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and just their construction of the roster is awesome. Like that Benzenkov that I mentioned before to you,
right?
The Euro MVP, great off the ball shooter.
Yeah,
great catch and shoot guy. Like they got the shooting now. They have the pieces to really compete in the league and really make some noise in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. James Harden is back, sitting on the bench. Good place for him. Tyrese Maxey has stepped up and played phenomenal out of the gate, averaging 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists on 56% shooting from the field. Embiid's been great, 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And Daryl Morey's just got to get Harden out of there. He just looks like a spoiled, rotten teenager sitting on the bench, looking all pissed off. I hope this deal's done soon.
It should be, because again, you run the risk of pissing off your MVP.
Yeah.
And if he just yeah, enough's enough. I'm definitely not resigning with you guys.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be really, really bad for the 70s.
Yeah.
Really bad. And the other thing I want to say is this. Get rid of Harden because Maxey is shining.
Yeah.
You don't need him. That guy needs to play.
Yeah. He's rumored to be going to the Clippers. The Clippers are looking pretty good because Kawhi and Paul George are both healthy. I like this foursome of Kawhi and Paul George, Westbrook, and Bones Highland. They've all played really well. I watched them beat the Spurs by 40 the other night, and all four guys were just phenomenal. And this is a high octane offense that, probably could fit James Harden in there. He's played with Westbrook before, and they could make something work. If Kawhi and George stay healthy, this team could be really exciting. And we've been waiting for many years to say this, but so far pretty impressive out the gate.
Yeah, it's very impressive. But are they going to actually stay healthy? Yeah. Well, past history says no, not even close. No, there's no way. No. But we'll see. Only thing though, if Harden does come to that team, I don't know. The chemistry of Harden coming to any team now, you have to wonder what's he going to do to that locker room.
Yeah.
What's he going to do?
Okay. Yeah. Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the Canadian, looking great. 24.7 assists coming out. Chet Holmgren, a guy we've talked about a lot and really anticipating his performances. He's averaging 15 points and 7 rebounds a game. He had 7 blocks against the Cavs, which was a pretty incredible stat line. And Cavs are a long team. For him to be getting 7 blocks, that's a very impressive performance. And I look forward to seeing OKC all year. They're going to be must-see TV, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're definitely a team that I'm going to be paying big attention to throughout the course of this regular season, because I think they're on the come up. They're on the cusp of making a big leap this year.
They were able to beat the Pistons tonight, 124-112. Shea had 32 points. Chet only played 24 minutes, but he had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. And Josh Giddey had 23 secondary scoring. And then Jalen Williams also contributed 19, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. So good performance from most of the class of the Thunder, just beating Detroit. But speaking of Detroit, Monty Williams is in there. I'm expecting them to really move up quite a bit. I love Monty, and I think he's going to bring a ton to the table. They are 2-1 on the season. Cade Cunningham, great out of the gate, 30 points, 9 assists over the first 3 games. Jalen Duren, 18 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. That's what his average is over those first 3 games. So there's lots to look forward to for the Detroit fans. After last year's debacle.
Yeah. Well, Detroit needs a little bit of hope. They need any sort of hope. They just need hope. Period.
Just a bit of hope. Yeah. Milwaukee, just 1-1 out of the gate. They 2-1 after tonight. They were able to beat the Heat tonight, 122-114. They held Jimmy Butler Jimmy had a pretty good game, 33 points. Giannis had 33 himself. Damian Lillard had 25, and Bobby Portis chipped in with 16. And Lopez ended up having 11. 2-1 Milwaukee on the year.
Milwaukee's going to be right up there, top of the East. It's going to be a battle between, I believe, for 1 or 2 between the Bucks and the Celtics.
Yeah. Okay. And then, as I mentioned, 4 teams at 1-1. Minnesota, Charlotte, Washington, the other. There's 9 teams at 1-2. Lakers are kind of the one team that I wasn't expecting to be 1-2 out the gate, but it's just 3 games. So Davis had that one big clunker coming out, and he took a lot of criticism for it. Seemed to have a bit better performance since, but he's that sort of Mr. Inconsistent, so we're probably going to expect more performances like that this year.
Yeah, definitely. But here's the great thing about the Lakers is LeBron James. Yesterday, that dude had 27 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, and he's 39.
Right. Yeah.
All right, cool. It's like, yeah, he can do that, but it's like you're come on, Anthony Davis. He's a 39-year-old man. All right. It's just all you got to do is just be consistent and play well. That's all he wants you to do. Just shine a little bit. Or you want the old man. He's like, I'll do it again. Anthony's not doing
it. Yeah, that's unreal. Yeah, you got to be like, when you're looking across and seeing him do that, you should be absolutely playing as hard as he ever could, to just, if he can do it, why can't I do it,
Yeah, exactly. That should be his mentality of, okay, so like LeBron's like 39. Like that actually, you know what? I should be a lot better. Period.
Yeah. The other teams that are 1-2, they're a bit of a surprise, are the New York Knicks, Utah Jazz, Miami Heat. Miami lost a game tonight, so they're fall to 1-3. Raptors also came out of the gate 1-2, and then they fell to the Blazers tonight, 99-91. Quite the shock, because Portland was 0-3 in their first 3 games. So Raptors with their new coach and the new team put together, not doing too great yet.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's going to be a work in progress for the Raptors for this season, compared to a lot of the other rosters in the NBA and the association. They're not that strong.
Yeah. Siakam and Scotty Barnes both had 20 tonight. Jakob Poeltl had 14. OG and Dennis Schroeder had 10. Scotty Barnes also chipped in with 12 rebounds, 20 points, 12 rebounds, but they fell. There are 4 winless teams. Brooklyn is 0-2 coming into tonight. Memphis fall to 0-4 tonight. Houston and Portland come out 0-3. All those teams are going to struggle. We talked about Memphis. They're going to fall on hard times after finishing second in the conference this past year. Missing a lot of key pieces now. It's going to be really rough year for them, especially about halfway through the season anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. They're just going to have to try to survive the best they can and get what they can.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I said, sports Equinox today. It was a crazy sports day getting ready. I'm going to catch the rest of the Monday Nighter and then watch the World Series game. So it'll be a late night for me. But get yourself some dinner, get yourself some rest, and attack this day tomorrow. Are we expecting good weather again?
I think so. I believe it's good weather tomorrow, Wednesday, and then back to rain for the foreseeable future, possibly forever for me.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. Glad you got a really good set of rain gear.
No, so am I. I'm very glad about that. I'm probably actually going to get another good set of rain gear soon, just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, man. Well, as always, thanks so much. That was great, and look forward to talking to you soon. Keep in touch. Have a great week ahead.
All right, you too, my friend. You have a great evening.
Okay, bud. Cheers. Bye for now. Awesome. Well, that was fun as always, and a little bit shorter than last week. That was a marathon podcast. Thanks for sticking in. Thanks, appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. So much to talk about, and coming to an end. want to thank our partners and sponsors as well. We want to say thank you to Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. Really great at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. Go to Anchor.fm if you want to do something similar. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, an industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And the V350 stick is something that you must have if you're a hockey player. Pampas and Possibilities, great at posting or at improving the beauty of your home. They come in and make it look great. Highly recommend them as well. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. We use them here, and you can purchase them on our website at discounted rates. So do so. Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for all your support as always. Love you guys lots. Take care of yourself, and bye for now.